I'm Shrik Qureshi. We all familiar with one thing that when we are communicating to other people, particularly when we are engaged in formal communications, pronunciation plays very important role. Unless we pronounce the words properly, we can't communicate our message to our listeners. So what is pronunciation? In English, for instance, we are talking about English. In English, definitely by like all other languages, pronunciation plays very important role. In pronunciation, you see that all the human beings, including the animals, they are having a vocal tract. That vocal tract starts with the lips and ends in the lungs. And there are different anatomical parts which come in between. Lips, upper jaw, lower jaw, pharynx, larynx, and ultimately it leads to the lungs. So this vocal tract, along with the nervous system, we are fully capable to make words. We can just create articulation. We can articulate the sound. And this articulation ultimately helps us in making the words. Since animals don't have the well-refined nervous system, so consequently they are utterly incapable to make words because their nervous system is not well refined. When we talk about pronunciation, in pronunciation two things plays very important role. One is stress system and second is called intonation. Intonation means rise and fall of the pitch of the voice. Means there are certain words in our oral text or the written text when we are speaking in speaking there are certain words which we have to give more focus upon, and particularly when we talk about the adjectives, adverbs, and there are certain typical nouns. When we speak them, we just want to focus upon these words. So focus means that we intone these words. So this actually rise and fall of the pitch of the voice is called intonation. So intonation is extremely important in order to make the level of our communication very strong. If we intone the words, particularly those words which just come after the punctuation marks like a comma, semicolon, colon, exclamatory sign, question mark, etc. The words which just come after these punctuation marks, they ought to be given more focus when we are speaking. And there are certain number of words also in the course of our speaking which we feel that they are very important to be communicated. So they actually contribute maximum in creating the clarity in our speaking. Our message becomes more clear. So particularly think all those people who have to give the presentation to the audience and the students of IELTS and the PTE Pearson test of English, they ought to understand all these things. Otherwise, their inevitability is common to all the people, to all the professionals, all the students, regardless their field, whatever it is. And the second thing which is very important in pronunciation is the stress system. As the stress means that to understand the stress, you see that the word is divided into different parts depending upon how many times the position of our tongue is changed. In speaking of any word, we can change the position of our tongue one time, two times, three times, four times, so on and so forth. And when these are called the syllables, these are called the syllables. If a word has just one syllable, or if we change the position of our tongue only once in speaking of any word, so this word is called monosyllabic, and this is called, there is one syllable in this word. For example, if I say the word table, table. So there are two syllables in this word. One is te and second is bal. So when any word has more than one syllable, then it becomes inevitable according to the rules and regulations which are given by the Cambridge and Oxford School of Thought. I repeatedly say that these school of thoughts are extremely important and they are the standard in the entire world. Although there are so many other dictionaries which have been compiled by different institutions, by different organizations. But the standard dictionary is Advanced Learners Oxford Dictionary or the Cambridge. So these two school of thoughts are standard. So when a word has more than one syllable, means the word speaking of whom we change the position of our tongue more than once, two times, three times. So then we give stress to at least one syllable. For example, if I pronounce the word dedication, dedication, there are two stresses in this word. One is de and the second is cation. So according to the number of time we change the position of our tongue, we divide the word into different parts which are known as syllables, and then it becomes very important or inevitable or necessary for us to give stress to at least one syllable. There are the words where we give just one stress, or there are the words where we give two stresses. For example, word which I just pronounced, I gave stress to two syllables. So this is, precisely speaking, this is the pronunciation, and these are the fundamentals of pronunciation. These are the basics of pronunciation, and the entire pronunciation, I just tell you the truth that this is actually the entire pronunciation, and then all depends upon how much work you do in order to develop it.